So I really want to dig into career planning today, but first I want to ask you, why do you think career planning is important?
It's critical. It's not just important. You can very easily, and I think it's the human condition and nature for us to get lulled to sleep by the work and we show up to work every day and we get caught up in the thick of thin things, as Stephen Covey used. And we don't think about those next steps. And so we just move forward in the direction that the world takes us. And if we're not careful, you end up several years looking back and wondering, how in the world did I get here? There's an old thing out of Seven Habits where it says everybody talks about climbing the ladder of success, but sometimes you could be so focused on doing that you don't recognize you put the ladder on the wrong wall, and it becomes a tough thing. So that's having a plan just makes all the difference. And if you're not thinking a few steps ahead, you're putting yourself in danger of ending up somewhere you didn't want.
I completely agree. And I'm sure you see this. I see it all of the time. Clients who are in just that position, they realize that they've worked themselves into a role and they're kind of stuck there, or that they started doing something and they wanted to do it for just a few years and they blinked their eyes and it's been a decade, right?
Yeah.
So, to your point, I definitely think that career planning is critical. What do you think are some of the best ways for executives and professionals to plan for their careers?
Well, and this, on the risk of this being a bit self-serving for you and for me, at the executive level, I think some of the best planning they could do is to get a partner. Because let's face it, as you evolve in your career and you get to those levels, it gets tougher. There's more expected of you. There's more hours and things. And so, my general advice to just general folks is you need to be planning your week and setting aside and holding sacred time for career planning. Ideally at the beginning of, and you've got little pockets of time that you are reserving for your own personal development and growth, and you're thinking about what's going. And everyone should do that, including executives. But again, executives are busy people, and it's very difficult to do that. Now, I will say a lot of folks who get to that executive level get there because they are good at planning. They are good at organizing and running a tight ship. But what do they also do? They hire administrative assistants and to work with them to do those things they don't have time to do. So I think a smart executive, again, at the risk of being a little self-serving, hires a career advocate, gets somebody who's good at helping to pull out the career plans and needs that they have, and helps them to pause long enough to think about who is the bigger person in my career than what I maybe am now. And then once they help them identify, help them build that plan. And there's so much, a professional like that can do to support them. So again, that's probably my opinion, the best thing, someone at that level.
Yeah, I agree. We have a whole episode on what I call your career support system and
Yeah.
how that is different than your family members, your friends, your neighbor, your coworker, right? To your point about a career advocate, I like to think of people who are unbiased and, professionals in the career space.
Yeah, no doubt.